Right, this is how you make dandelion and goosegrass soup. Now, if you hear any weird noises in the background, that'll just be the chickens clucking away, so just ignore that. Okay, now, there's going to be 3 ingredients we need for soup. You've got some dandelion greens and some goosegrass. If you don't know what goosegrass is, this is what it looks like. It has like these hooks on it which stick to your clothing like this. See, it just sticks to your clothing and it's edible. So what you want to do is you just put your goosegrass and dandelions into a cooking pot. For this one I'm using a BCB Crusader, and then fill that up with water. And then get your fire going and start boiling it. Yeah, just thought I'd give you guys a shot of the fire in progress. You gotta start cooking with it. You gotta wait until the flames die down and you just got hot embers. And then we start boiling the water and making the soup. Okay, what you gotta do is you gotta chop up the goosegrass and everything quite finely after you've washed it, so it all sort of almost melts into the water, but just makes it easier to eat. I mean, dandelions are quite tasty, and also it's packed with nutrients that you need. Like dandelion greens are one of the most nutrient dense foods you can get. So again, we're just waiting for the fire to die down a bit so we can use it. Right, now the flames have died down a bit and we just got some embers. I've got a little wire rack and the BCB mug with the chopped up dandelion greens and goosegrass with some water, and we're just waiting for the water to boil at the moment. Right, I've decided what kind of spices I'm going to use. I'm going to use a mix of spices, which is basically everything in your spice racks just mixed together. Well, I say everything except cinnamon, just mixed together in a jar. Punch some holes in the jar, make a little shaker. If you're taking this on an expedition or something, you could pop it in a Ziploc bag and avoid glass breakage. So I'm just going to add that now. Just a quick side note, the knife I use to prepare all the wood and everything is a Mora clipper. I think it is a Mora clipper. It's a nice little, about £9 knife. I'll do a review on that later from, you see that there? Ramir's Bushcraft, I don't know if you can see that there, but anyway, you'll see more of that later. Right, the dandelion and goosegrass has come to a rolling boil at the moment. I'll just let it boil for about 2 minutes to make it soften up the greens a bit. See, they're nice and soft there. Looks pretty nice. Just because I like it, I'm just going to add a dash of Tabasco. When I say a dash, I mean a slosh. Slosh of Tabasco. And it should be ready and done. Take a bit. Should be ready and done now. I'm just gonna take it off the heat and pour it into a bowl. Just zoom out a bit. got my spoon and fork here because I wasn't too sure which I would need. Now again, this is a BCB Crusader. Just take it off with a dishcloth. Pour it, all the goodness in there. And we have wild greens soup, dandelion and goosegrass. Let's just try a bit. It tastes alright. Probably wouldn't taste as nice without the seasonings and the Tabasco, obviously. But you got yourself there a nice little soup, all made. Warm you up. Right, now I'm going to go through what I used for the soup. I essentially used the spice mix I showed you, which is essentially basically all the stuff in your spice cupboard except for cinnamon. Just mixed together, including salt and pepper, and then thrown in a jar, as well as some Tabasco. And these are the two types of greens I put in the soup. I got some goosegrass here, which is quite recognisable due to these sort of thin leaves. Also, the main fact is if you it will stick to your clothes or even your skin sometimes, because it's got these little hooks. If you feel it's kind of sticky, if you run your finger up the stem, you'll feel your finger catch on these little hooks, and that's why it's quite identifiable. And you can eat this, actually. You can eat it raw as well, I suppose, but I don't know whether you'd like the little hooks raw. I mean, I suppose if you really had to, you could eat it raw like that. That's that done. Okay, now go on to the dandelion green. Everyone knows what dandelion flower looks like, I hope. You can eat the flower as well, but for the soup I just used the leaves here because they weren't flowering at the moment. Now you can use the leaves pretty much at any age for this soup because we're going to boil it, so it doesn't matter how tender the leaves are. It's going to get boiled down and softened up anyway. You see the dandelion leaf's quite identifiable due to this little pattern here of the leaves, where these like little fronds that come off, quite jagged leaf. Yep, and that was my first edition in green edibles. I'll probably do some more cooking videos and more wild food videos later. But this is Wild Hornet 22 signing off.